Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Tutu Tarot. So today we're looking at what your spirit animal is. What is your spirit animal right now at this point in time? Our spirit animal does change as we go through different things, as we learn different lessons, as we have different experiences and need to be open to new ideas. Our spirit animal changes to come in and give us the power of their energy. So you're going to find out what your spirit animal is and what they want to tell you, what messages they have for you. So I have 3 cards for you here, 3 readings. I'm not revealing these cards like I usually do because I don't want you to prejudge it. I don't want you to judge what you think you need to hear, and rather I want you to be open to what shows up for you. So hopefully you're able to do that. So all you have to do is choose 1, 2, or 3. Go down into the description box. Click on the timestamp for that reading, and it will take you straight there. Okay, thanks, y'all. Hey, group 1. All right, today we're going to look at who is your spirit animal right now. And I do believe we have spirit animals in some sense and that they do change depending on what's going on in our lives or what lessons we need to learn. So who is your spirit animal right now and what messages do they have for you? What do they want to tell you? All right. So group 1, your spirit animal is the dog. It's the dog. All right, give me just a second. I just want to hear what spirit wants to tell you about this card. Give me one sec. They're giving, first message they're giving me is about loyalty. And it's not so much about loyalty to others, but about loyalty to yourself. About honoring your dreams, your vision for your life, honoring your own authenticity, who you are, and being loyal to that vision. Learning to be unwavering in what you believe and what you really want for yourself in your life. It's honoring your own truth and being loyal to your own truth, whatever that means for you. Okay. All right. So we'll start there and let's find out what your dog spirit animal, what else they want to tell you. What other messages do they have for you? All right, your first card is the Princess of Wands. Then we have the High Priestess. And finally, the Chariot. Okay, give me just a second while I listen for any initial messages for you, and then we'll talk about what's going on here and see what else your dog spirit animal wants to tell you. Okay? One second. They're talking about your world is ready to open up for you in some way. But you have to believe in it. You have to believe in it. And they're giving me this visual of a dog with his bone, and he is not giving it up for anything. Right? You can fight him for it. You can wrestle him for it, and he will fight to keep that bone. And in this scenario, for you, the bone is what you want for your life. Maybe it's what you want next. It's your dreams, it's your goals. Maybe it's a bigger vision for your life. It's something that you want so badly that you're willing to fight for it in some sense. But you have to believe it can happen. You know, just as the dog believes that that bone is theirs, you have to believe that your dream is yours as well. You have to know it and own it with your entire being and be loyal to that. Okay. So that's an initial message for you, but let's see what the individual cards want to say as well. So your first card is the Princess of Wands. Okay, they're telling me she is a messenger of hope. She's essentially the Page of Wands in the typical tarot. And she is a message of hope, of inspiration, of motivation. They're telling me you have all of this in you. But sometimes you don't listen. Sometimes you don't listen. You have these dreams, these aspirations, and you can see that these flames, they almost look like a mountain. And this princess is reaching for the stars, and she actually has a wand with a star at the end of it. And they're showing me, this is you. This is you. You have a mountain you want to reach, a mountaintop you want to reach. And you don't get there by doubting yourself. You don't get there by believing something will just land in your lap either. You have to know something is worth reaching for, something is worth going after, something is worth fighting for, something is worth working toward, something is worth your unwavering commitment. So you'll have to think about that for yourself. What is that for you? What is that mountain? What does that mountain peak look like? What does that star mean to you in the sky? We'll have some different meaning for each of you. Feel free to drop it down in the comments if you just kind of want to claim it. But what I'm hearing is you have everything you need to get to the top of this mountain. You have the stamina, you have the courage, you have the trust. You just sometimes doubt it. And you're not listening to your heart consistently. You are listening, you do know what you want. And if you don't know what you want right now, listen even harder, because it's there. Your higher self knows what it is. Your spirit animal knows what it is. And they're trying to help you go after it. Oh, okay. They're giving me, I'm sure you've heard the saying, dog is man's best friend. They're giving me this message of be friends with your dream. Don't look at it as something difficult, something hard to master, a challenge, an obstacle, something you hope for. Look at your dream, your aspirations, whatever it is you want to achieve, as your best friend. Work with your dream to achieve it, to get with it, to reach that mountaintop. Which really means listen to your heart and let yourself be guided by your love of what it is you want. Not by fear, not by doubt, not by distrust, but by love for it. As you would love a best friend, and if you have a best friend like I do, you trust them with your life. Trust your dream. It's there for a reason. You wouldn't have this dream if you weren't meant to pursue it in some way. So trust your dream. Follow that star, climb that mountain, be willing to do whatever it takes out of love for what it is you want and out of belief that you can get there, because you can. Be loyal to it. Okay? All right, so your next card is the High Priestess. Okay, what they're saying to me now is that you don't know all the answers. The High Priestess is sort of a guardian to a certain level of secrets. Secrets of the universe, secrets of consciousness, secrets of subconsciousness, secrets of spirit and the unknown. And we're not meant to know all the answers ahead of time. We're meant to live them and experience them and make decisions and choose a path to follow, and believe when it's something very important to us. So they're giving me, you don't know all the answers, but there's a level of trust. And they're showing me now, this dog spirit animal, kind of lost. You know, they've escaped the yard, they've run off chasing after their dream, right? Chasing after something they want very badly. Could be a squirrel, right? Or a rabbit. They're chasing after it. And then they realize they're somewhere they've never been before. They don't really know where they're going anymore. Maybe they don't know how to get back or where to go next. Do they lie down and give up? No, of course not. They trust their instincts. They follow their senses. And they find their way. They find their way. So they're just acknowledging that there are things you don't know the answers to and that may be daunting to you. But don't let it stop you. Don't let those unanswered questions get in your way. Pursue them. Pursue them in spite of not knowing. And you will eventually get there. All right. Then your final card here is the Chariot. And what they're giving me is be in control of your dreams and in control of your own willpower to pursue them. Don't let outside forces derail you. And I know that's easy to say, difficult to do, because we all have distractions and circumstances and situations that get in the way of what we want to do. But what they're giving me is that those are just distractions. And sometimes we do have to take detours, and sometimes life sends us on detours that seem like they're taking us away from where we're going. But if you keep your goal in mind, if you keep your destination in mind, you won't miss the way. But it does take some focus and some willpower and some strength within you to stay on your path and not give up. Not get distracted and waylaid and then, oh, I guess it's never going to happen now. I guess I should just give up and go back to something else, or I don't know. You know, giving up shouldn't be an option. Don't put a time limit on yourself, because time really doesn't matter. Don't put a time limit on yourself. But do put yourself in a place of not being willing to give up. You are in control, just as this chariot rider is in control of the steeds in front of him, of the animals that are pulling the cart. He is in control. It's not letting any other person in their life be in control, not letting circumstances be in control. He knows where he wants to go, and he will get there. And again, yes, sometimes that requires detours, but those detours are usually for our benefit if we're following our heart and our path. But what you shouldn't do is let someone else hold the reins for you, control the reins for you. You be in control. You be the alpha dog. You be the person in charge of your dreams, your life, your path. No one else should have a say in it, truthfully. That doesn't mean we don't have people in our lives that we have responsibilities for, or that we want to help and we want to be a part of their lives and them a part of our lives. Of course, that's part of being human. But the ultimate say of what you do with your life should be you and only you. So trust yourself, trust your path, and drive yourself forward with the momentum of someone who knows they cannot fail. And you'll get there. You'll get there. All right, group one. I hope that helps. I hope it resonated. And certainly if you start seeing images, messages from, from dogs in particular, it'll be a reminder going forward of the messages here that the spirit animal has for you. So please listen. And thank you so much for being here. I hope if it resonated, you'll give the video a thumbs up. It helps me know that we are connecting energetically, which helps future readings resonate as well. And thank you so much. And I will see you next time, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, group two. Okay, we're going to look at who your spirit animal is. And that's your spirit animal right now. Your spirit animal will change over time, depending on what you're going through in your life, what your situation is, what messages, what lessons you need to learn. So this is who your spirit animal is right now, and we'll see what messages they have for you. All right, so your animal is the horse, And let me just hear what spirit wants to say about the horse and your spirit animal. One sec. The first thing they're giving me is a message of freedom. Freedom. That's an important concept for you right now. In some way, saying in some way you need to understand what freedom means for you, what it looks like, how it feels. And it will look different to everyone. One person's freedom could be another person's trap. And that's true. But what does freedom look like for you? And they're giving me the phrase wild and free. And that doesn't mean you have to go off the rails and be wild, but I'm getting they want you to experiment with a little bit of carefree abandon. Worry less about what other people think of you right now. Worry less about what other people are doing or what things are supposed to look like or how things are supposed to go. And pay attention to your own wild heart a little. What does it want you to do? What is that secret yearning that's inside of you that says, oh, if only I could? What does that look like? And is it possible for you? Are you denying it because you're afraid? Because of what someone else might think? What would it feel like if you chased after that feeling in some way? That's really what they want you to consider, and that's what your horse spirit wants you to consider right now. Concept of freedom for you. Okay? And maybe what felt like freedom in the past is something different now. Maybe freedom feels like something else at this point in your life. Because I do feel like some of you have grappled with the concept of freedom in the past and have achieved it in some way. But now freedom feels different to you. What felt like freedom before feels a little bit limiting. So for you, it may have changed, and that's okay. It's important that we evolve and change as we grow as well. Okay? All right, let's get some tarot cards. Let's see what the horse spirit wants to tell you. Your first card is the Seven of Pentacles. And we have Temperance. And finally, the Sun. Beautiful. Okay. Well, we have two major arcana cards here, which means that this is an important time for you. This is an important message for you. Not one to ignore, not one to take lightly, if you can. All right. So give me just a second. I just want to see if they want to give any general messages here about the tarot cards, and then we'll talk through each one. What they're saying to me is it's time to fine-tune your concept of freedom, of accepting that being carefree, that being able to do what you want when you want in some way or in some situation may mean something different to you now than it did in the past. And it may mean something different to you than it does to someone else in your life or other people in your life. And they're telling me to allow yourself to accept any new definitions that come into your awareness. It doesn't mean that you have failed if your concept of freedom was in some way achieved and then changed. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It means that you're evolving and that you're moving forward in a new way. And it's important to know that. It's important to know that. Okay. So your first card is the Seven of Pentacles, and they are drawing me. I don't always read the words on these cards, but they're drawing me to the word at the top, which says failure. Let me just listen why. Well, the first thing they're saying is you're not a failure. You are not a failure. Stop saying that to yourself. If you are watching this and you have caught yourself saying, I'm tired of failing. I'm such a failure. I don't want to fail. Stop saying that. You're not failing. You're learning. You're experiencing new things. And you're growing. Accept that that is not failure. And if you are trying, it's never failure. It's never failure. If there's something you want and you're not trying, then understand that that too is a lesson. That too is a message for you. And you don't have to stay in that energy of not trying. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you aware. And it should be telling you you can make different choices. If there's something you want and you don't go after it, maybe you should. Maybe you should find a baby step you can take to move forward. Maybe you need to acknowledge this isn't the right time to go after it. Maybe you need to understand that what you think or thought you wanted isn't what you want anymore. So you have to go within and consider those things for yourself. It's not me telling you any of that. It's just things to think about, concepts to ponder. But they're giving me here with the Seven of Pentacles that you have planted some seeds in your life. And you've been patiently allowing something to grow and mature. But it's time now to release some of that. So, when a fruit tree, an apple tree, grows its apples, if you don't pick them at some point, they will fall to the ground and rot and die, right? Instead of picking them when they're ripe and enjoying them, getting fuel from them, getting nutrition from them, allowing them to nourish you. They're telling me it's time for you to start releasing the fruit that grew from the seeds you planted in the past. Only you can decide if you are going to pick the fruit and eat it, meaning there's something that you wanted, that you started, and do you still want it? If you do, it's time now. It's time now. to pursue it. If it's not something you want anymore, then move on. Release that fruit, release those seeds, release that idea, and follow your heart. But there is no failure in changing your mind as long as you're going from your heart. And that is freedom in its essence. In a sense, you have the freedom to make your own decisions and change your mind. You have the freedom to pursue what you want. And when it's ready, to grab it with both hands and enjoy every bit of it. You have that freedom, whether you believe it or not. You also have the freedom to decide, you know what, I no longer like apples. I don't want to eat another apple ever. And to move on and plant new seeds, do something different. You are the dream maker. You are the stallion who chases after the wind, who is free in the wild. The stallion, the horse, is a very, very powerful animal. Very powerful, very smart, very intuitive. There's not much you can get past the horse. They know. They know how you're feeling when you're around them. They understand in some way. I don't know how. They just do. And you have that same ability in yourself. Just trust it. All right. Your next card is Temperance. And it also says on here, art. And the message you're giving me is that art is subjective. What's beautiful to one may be hideous to somebody else. Allow yourself the freedom to play, to create something new. Maybe something no one's ever seen before. Maybe something everyone hates, but you love. Or that maybe you're afraid everyone will hate. Give up on that idea that you have to please anybody but yourself. Because when you are creating something, whether it is art or music, or you're a writer, or you're just creating the life you want for yourself, there's going to be people who think what you're doing is great. There's going to be people who think that you're completely out of your mind, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter. Once you start owning your life and you start going after it with some freedom and some creativity and allowing yourself to play and to practice and to dream and to try new things, there will be people who will be drawn to you because of it. And there will be people who will maybe fade away, which is also okay. But there's freedom in allowing yourself to express yourself, to try different things. You know, the Temperance card, she has 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the water. She's not limiting herself to being in one or the other. There's a sense of balance, but there's also a sense of duality, of trying different things, of looking at something that may be the opposite of what you've always thought or believed, or what you've always tried in the past. There may be something that is so completely different that somehow it completes your idea. I don't know. You have to think about that for yourself. But it is about allowing yourself the freedom to play and to create. And some of those things you will love, just like other people will, and some of those things you won't. That's okay too. You have the freedom to try. You not only have the freedom to try, but you're being encouraged to try. It's important. And then finally, we have the sun. Let me just listen what they want to say about this card. There's so many messages that come out of the sun card. The first they're giving me is this message of duality. And you have two people playing here. One man, one woman. Duality, opposites attracting, opposites somehow complementing each other. And we see that here in the Temperance card. On this particular card, there's a yin-yang symbol as well. And again, they're saying what brings freedom to one might, again, feel like entrapment to somebody else. Don't let somebody else's ideas influence yours. Your heart knows what you love, what you want. It doesn't mean we can't talk things over with people and, get feedback, but you have to always go back to your own heart, your own intuition, your own spirit, and trust what you know. If I'm afraid of getting on a horse, I'm afraid of riding a horse, my telling the horse I'm not afraid doesn't change that. The horse knows I'm afraid. Because it's in my essence, it's in my energy, it's in the way I'm sitting, it's in me. And you can't change the horse's mind because it knows. So it's okay to listen to others, but trust yourself and follow your own direction and enjoy it. That freedom the horse feels, that I can imagine it feels when it's galloping, through open fields, enjoying the wind in its hair, the ground beneath its feet, its muscles working, its lungs working, the landscape speeding by. That sense of freedom, of openness, of anything is possible. That's joy. That's pure joy. And that's what the sun card is telling you. It's your life. You're meant to enjoy your life. And yes, sometimes part of enjoying life is dealing with difficulties and challenges and what we may perceive as failure. But if you're not pursuing joy and happiness, what are you pursuing? Only you know the answer to that. But the big message here is finding your own version of freedom in whatever area of your life or every area of your life. Find your version of freedom and pursue it with abandon in some way, with wild abandon in some way, in a way that feels right and feels happy and feels good to you. And play and enjoy it. And don't let other people's opinions hinder you or cage you in. All right, group 2, I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some messages that you needed. Of course, keep your awareness up. You may start seeing more images, more messages of horses. You may start seeing real horses, more of them than you normally do. Those are reminders. When you start seeing this animal over and over, it's a reminder to remember the message, remember the message. Stay on that path. So just kind of keep your eyes and ears open for that. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful for you. If the reading resonated, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. That helps me know that our energies are connecting, which also helps future readings for you because then our energies kind of stay connected when you interact. Feel free to drop a message down below if you want to talk about what freedom means to you. I would love to know that. And we'll see you next time, y'all. Have a great day. Hey, group 3. All right, today we're going to take a look at what your spirit animal is right now And I do believe that our spirit animals change depending on what we're going through in our lives or what situations we're faced with or what lessons we need to learn. So this is your spirit animal right now, and we're going to look at what messages they have for you, what they need you to know. Right, so your animal is the bull. The bull. Okay, give me just a second while I listen to what they want to say to you. The first thing they're acknowledging is the strength of a bull, the pure animal strength. This is important for you. They're telling me this is important for you because right now you're not feeling very strong in some way. Whether that's physically, that could be physically. I am feeling more so, it's an inner strength. But they're telling me inner strength is often reflected in outer strength. So take that if it resonates for you. But they're saying you are strong, stronger than you realize. You're not acknowledging it. You're not embracing it. You're not believing it. You don't feel strong in some way. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But you are stronger than you think you are. And they're saying you can stand your ground. They're telling me there is something that you've been wavering on, something that you've been questioning, or someone in your life who has been tugging at you to get you to change your mind about something, or causing you to rethink something that you know to be true for yourself, causing you to doubt. Maybe not on purpose. This might be somebody who has very good intentions, who wants to help you, but their opinion is not your opinion. Their belief is not your belief, but they're trying to change your mind. And the bull spirit is coming in to say, you can be strong in your own beliefs. You can stand firm in what you believe if you choose to. Try to push a bull over, you can't, right? They're a bit stubborn. They're very, very strong. And they're not going to move unless they want to, right? They're giving me that there is a need for you to regain some of that stubbornness that was once in you in some way. You know, not to be overly stubborn. There's no quality that you want in overabundance, but there's also no quality that is truly negative. You know, we often look at stubbornness as being a negative thing, but what they're telling me is that there's a need for you to be a little bit more stubborn with yourself and with what others want from you. Be true to yourself. Be good to yourself. Trust yourself. And be stubborn when you need to be, rather than giving in when you don't want to, but maybe you feel like you don't have a choice, or you feel like someone else will not give up, will be more stubborn than you, and it's not worth it. Only you can decide if it's worth it or not. But it is a message that the bull spirit is trying to give you, that sometimes being stubborn and standing in your own power is more important than maybe keeping the peace, giving other people what they want. You can be kind and stubborn at the same time. All right, let's get some cards down and see what else they want to tell you. Your first card is the Empress. Then we have the Emperor. Interesting. And finally, we have the Hierophant. 3 major arcana cards, 3 out of 3. Big deal. This is an important time for you. This is an important lesson for you. This is a really important message that you need to hear. All right, give me 1 sec. I just want to take these cards in and listen for some initial messages to give you about these cards, and then we'll go through them one at a time. The first thing they're saying is for you to move forward with a sense of purpose and strength. They're wanting you to acknowledge your own power and your own ability to get what you want. It does require a little bit of stubbornness. It requires a little bit of bullheadedness. It requires some strength of character and some fortitude and some dogged perseverance. But if there's something that you want, don't give it up so easily. And you may be feeling in some way that you don't want this badly enough to fight with someone else about it or to disagree with them. That it's easier just to give them what they want. The last part might be true. It might be easier to give them what they want. And I certainly don't advocate, nor does Spirit advocate, fighting with others just for the sake of winning, ever. But your bull spirit animal is asking you to look at why you want something and why you might be so easily persuaded into letting it go. And whether those two things are in alignment with what your heart wants. Not what's easiest, but what's best for you and for your life. And there is this need to be strong in your mind. They're pointing to the bull's head and being strong in your mind. Know what you want. Don't talk yourself out of it because it's easier. The bull is not afraid of a little conflict, of a friendly debate. Obviously, you don't want to fight. But sometimes you do need to fight for something that you want. Giving in is not always the best thing to do, even if it helps to avoid a fight or avoid an argument. Giving in can sometimes be the very worst thing you can do. Because then something you don't want perseveres instead of what you do want, being given a chance to grow and to blossom. All right, so let's talk about the cards. Your first card is the Empress. Give me 1 second. The Empress is so fertile, is so abundant. She has everything she needs and more. She's compassionate, she's generous, and I do feel that this group is as well. The Empress gives. She gives what she can, but she never lets herself go without. takes care of herself first because she knows if she runs out of resources, she can't help anyone. And those resources can be, material resources, but they can also be inner resources. If you give of yourself to the point where you have nothing left, then everyone suffers. Most importantly, you. And so you're being encouraged to embrace this Empress energy. Keep the kindness in you. Keep the compassionate side of you. Yes, you can be generous with your time and your resources, but not at your expense. Don't do it at your expense. Give to yourself first. And then allow yourself to give to others. But it does require a bit of firmness, a bit of strength to not just give away everything the Empress has. She could give it all away and have nothing left and be the pauper instead of the Empress. But she doesn't. And that's what you're being encouraged to embrace, is to know you can have everything you want and still help others, still be there for others, still encourage others to be happy and to have what they need, not at your expense. And you really do have to own that. We move from the Empress to the Emperor. And this is a very, it's a very dualistic energy. And they're drawing me here, the Emperor, the Empress, the Empress and the Emperor. And also, if you notice on this bull card, there's the sun and the moon. It's a symbol of opposites. It's a symbol of one needs the other. One leads to the other. They both have their time in the sun, or they both have their time in the sky, the sun and the moon. The Emperor and the Empress work together to achieve what they want. The Emperor is very stubborn, very strong, very bullheaded, very willing to do whatever it takes to go after what they want. And I am getting, you need a little bit more of that without giving up the generosity and the compassion and the beauty of the Empress. You need both of these things. You need to embrace both sides of this. The brightness and the strength and the fire of the sun, and the softness and the intuitiveness and the gentleness of the moon. You need them both. But right now they're showing me that you're kind of falling in the cracks between the two. Not really embracing either one. You're letting yourself in some way fall prey to someone else or to other people or to a situation that has overpowered you in some way. And it's time to stand in your power and claim what's yours and own what's yours. All right, so your third card is the Hierophant. Give me just a second. I want to hear what they want to say about this card. Hold on one second. They're letting me know the Hierophant here is representing a lesson. Two things here, actually, they're giving me. A lesson you need to learn and a lesson you need to unlearn. You were taught in some way, whether it was actually taught this, maybe by your parents, your peers, or just through life. You were taught that it's better to just give in. That life is easier if you just capitulate and let others have what they want. You need to unlearn that a little bit. Not that, having peace in your life isn't important. It is. But do you really feel at peace when you give away what's yours, whether it's your inner self or your resources, your time, your energy? If you're giving it away to the point where you don't have enough left to really care for yourself and to have the life you want to have, are you really at peace, or are you just comfortable? It's just easy. And then there's the message of needing to learn a new lesson, needing to learn a new way of doing things. And that doesn't mean being such a bull that you just railroad over people and ignore their needs and wants and just only think about yourself, right? It's a little bit of emperor energy there. You need some of that, but you also need the empress. You need to learn a balance between the two. You need to learn that both sides of the coin matter. You don't want to get buried by the dogma or the lessons that you learned early on, probably through experience, to just give, and be the martyr, be the one that suffers. You're not meant to suffer. You're meant to have a good life. You're meant to have what you want. You're meant to have all the abundance and power and beautiful things and to feel good and strong. You're meant to have those things. Don't give it all away so easily, so readily. If you allow others, when it's appropriate, to take care of themselves, they will. They might struggle, but don't we all? That's how you grow. That's how you become who you're meant to be, is by learning to do new things, learning to take care of ourselves in some way. And right now, you're so busy taking care of others that you're not taking care of yourself. You're not nurturing yourself. You're not owning your own power. And it really is about standing firm, being a little more stubborn, about taking care of yourself, about getting what you want and what you need, and being strong in that. Be strong in that power. Be unwavering in that power. Be unshakable. Because it's important. And there's a part of you that knows that. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. Group 3. You may notice in the days or weeks ahead that you see more images of bulls. Maybe you'll see bulls out actually in nature, out in the world, but you may see them online. You may see images. You may see references to them. It happens when we need to be reminded of the message. So you may notice that. And as you do, just allow yourself to absorb that bull message. And it might be a message of saying, come on, be a little bit stronger today. Or it might be a message saying, good job. You did it. But allow those messages to come through. All right, group 3, that's what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it resonated. If it did, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps me know that our energies are resonating and that we're connected, which will help future readings as well to resonate even more. And feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know, what the bull means, the bull spirit energy means for you. And any other comments you want to leave, I do read them all. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.